Oh, no.
Just kidding.
No.
You hit the wrong start streaming.
You know what? I'm just going to leave it streaming. I'm just going to set my shit up and fix it.
Oh, so this would be a good time to tell them about the sponsor of tonight's podcast.
Yeah, why don't you double check our audio first? Sorry, guys.
You should be used to it by now.
Technical abilities.
Okay, we have audio checked.
Your audio, at least.
No, I heard yours.
No, mine's not even plugged in.
Oh, well, my microphone picked you up then.
Pick me up before you go. Oh.
As long as you wake me up first.
Yes. Wake me up inside. Save me.
Save me.
All right. We're good. Hey, at least
We're not good.
we have a concurrent viewer. It was you. It was you.
McMuffin.
We're echoing hardcore in the chambers today. The Chamber of Secrets.
In the chamber of imagine.
Anything if you imagine.
Anyway, this podcast is brought to you by Stevie Wicks Cool Bean Candle Company. More on them later.
More on them later. Can you imagine if I didn't hit stream and we were just recording the entire time?
Oh, you mean like that one we did with Benji? Which was the greatest podcast ever.
It was the greatest podcast ever that we didn't record.
It was. It was so good.
We learned our lesson.
No, we did it again.
Oh, that's right.
Another one. Did it again.
It's like, it's hard to just remember just to hit record and then all your stuff. Okay, so.
I apologize in advance to our viewers. I am extremely tired. So I am going to be even more scatterbrained than normal. But I also want to say a giant thank you to the people who said we're clowns.
Context, bro. Context.
I'll just go ahead and give them some context. That's how I feel about that. Anyway.
Right. Krusty the Clown's in the comments. Anyway.
I did want to say thank you to the...
Oh, it's Chris. It's my nephew.
Oh.
Change your name. I don't know who the hell you are.
Let me reel this in. And I stuck up the wrong finger is what happened.
Clown.
See, I told you I was tired.
You were correct.
That's what clowns go for. Ha-ha-has. Anyway, thank you to everyone who watched the All Quiet on the Western Front review, because I did not expect it to get that many views.
That was a good turnout, really.
I'm shocked, especially considering it was just me blathering on for over an hour.
Yeah, but it's about a book turned into a movie.
Again, about a book turned into a movie again.
Yeah, again, yeah. There was an older version?
1930, 1978, I think.
Okay.
And then 2022.
Kind of like a Gone in 60 Seconds, and then...
well, they're not sequels.
Well, Gone in 60 Seconds was a sequel. Y'all streamed too late for me. Listen, dude.
That's why, but you can go back and you can... Oh, my God, look at my old man trying to read face. I was like... I caught the tail end of it.
He sounded like a car trying to start.
You know, I used to... do you remember Tiana? We went to high school with her.
Yep.
She used to do this thing, and I always called it the lawnmower laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because she's like... So whenever she'd start laughing, I'd start, like, pantomiming, starting... Drove her nuts. She thought that was hilarious. Which then it started the process over again, and it was just an endless
She was little.
Yes, she was quite small.
She was like
I think I told you this, but you know,
4'9".
at one point I thought she died.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, right after high school, like, I didn't hear anything from her, and then years later I randomly looked her up on Facebook and could not find her. I found nothing. I'm like, is she dead?
A lot of them changed their names and stuff like that.
Well, I know, but that's... most of the time you can still search their maiden name and they'll come up. But
right.
I didn't find out she was still alive until that 15-year reunion thing that I went to.
Oh,
and I
geez.
asked, I'm like, weird question, is Tiana dead? No. Why would you think that? I'm like, because
Why would you think that?
Because she disappeared, man. Anyway,
So
completely unrelated. She disappeared like common sense in America. To see how I brought it back.
All right, but we were going to segue from our sponsors.
I said more on them later.
Oh, did you? Okay, never mind then. Shows how not tired I am.
Dude, it's unreal. I'm literally driving down here, and I'm like, I'm over halfway there. There's a be like, we should zoom this shit. But
You should have said something.
I
dude.
was well over halfway here, so
Oh.
it doesn't matter. So hopefully I wake up.
He's got Coke. He's good.
I've got
people.
caffeine. Yeah.
Either that or we'll get him some real Coke. Ah! Anyway. Hands down, that's the greatest movie ever. That's my favorite. Oh, Chris says he's got beer. I got beer. Hey, Peter. I don't think you should be doing that over there.
Peter.
I wasn't even doing that. I was doing Joe Swanson. Cleveland, you son of a bitch.
That should be a game we play at some point. Is we just
Do random shit and then see
but
if
like
anyone
but
catches it.
connected, like we just did there. You were like Peter. Peter.
It's like the original. I'll just talk to the one person watching. Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, when Uncle Ben is dying. That's what we're talking about. And then it's the funniest thing ever because Uncle Ben's like, Peter. And it's hilarious. Anyway, so
It's not supposed to be funny though.
let's get to the topic at the end. Are they trying to actively sink America?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Thank you, William Shatner. And the answer is yes.
And by they,
We're talking about them.
I want to say Democrats because you even
Democrats.
you have Democrats literally leaving the party like as we speak. Tulsi Gabbard is one. She just left the Democratic Party, and it's like good for you, Tulsi. I guarantee she's going to be independent because
She said so. Well, so here's the other interesting thing.
she doesn't hold enough conservative
Well, but
values.
speaking of Tulsi Gabbard, though, this is interesting, and this illustrates the whole nonsense that is like, even some of the mainstream media sources are saying that she's a Republican. No, she overtly stated on Joe Rogan's podcast, because he point blank asked her, "Are you going to run as an independent?" And she said yes. But she's also starting a podcast. She's not. Well, okay. Let me back that.
Everybody's started a podcast these days.
Well, I mean,
Technically,
we started before this last wave of people. Because like podcasts are nothing new by the time we got into it, but it did seem like there's another wave of people starting podcasts, which is great because podcasts are awesome for talking about things and stuff. Things. No, podcasts are great because it's a long form conversation that, I mean, yeah, you can clip it up, but when you have integrity like us, every short we upload, every clip we upload has a link to the full length unedited podcast. So you can get all of the if you so choose, you can get all the context. And I try not to ever edit it to where it's like overtly false. Like I don't use editing tricks to change the essence of what we say. Sometimes I will, like for shorts especially, we eliminate pauses or segues in the conversation to keep it on point. But I try to avoid that when possible. Like I won't stitch something together that's like
it's like
10 minutes
removing
apart.
the filler from a DBZ episode.
Nani?
The balls! They're inert!
The simultaneous old man groans.
What the fuck, man?
This is gonna be bad.
Oh, it's okay though.
It's like two Joe Biden.
I'm gonna keep us Joe Biden.
Oh,
keep us
yeah.
on track tonight. All right, so the big question is, who's gonna win here in 2022 in November? And it's definitely gonna be a red wave. And no, we're not talking about Lizzo's time of the month.
So God, this Lizzo thing. See, this is one of those things where I'm not sure if I just legitimately live under a rock or if like the left wing media literally just gaslights people.
I tried to watch some left-wing media today, and it was just horrible. I'm not talking like CNN. I'm talking like I'm saying media because it was not news media. It was just media, and it was horrible. Like, there was nothing they could say that was like remotely entertaining or anyone like had the same values. It was just it was dumb, for better lack of words. It was dumb.
Stupid.
But anyway,
in regards to Lizzo,
oh yeah, sorry.
This is probably gonna make me sound ignorant as hell, but I don't care.
Yes.
Where did she come from?
She's
Like, 'cause
fat and famous. She was fat
like,
and got famous for being fat.
She's fatness.
She's fat.
I mean,
she is
I'd
Santa
never,
Claus.
I'd never heard of her until this whole controversy with, I think the first thing I saw of her was her little award show thing was like, we gotta stop changing these laws. And it's like, who the fuck is that?
That's the thing. Like, oh shit. He said it's my time to start the OnlyFans.
You do need to start the OnlyFans.
I need to get. I thought about putting my feet on Feet Finder.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. There was like a solid 10 or 15 seconds where I legit thought about it.
I didn't think about it for no 10 to 15 seconds.
I was going back and forth because here's what I was thinking. Like,
my wife told me to put my feet on Feet Finder. She's like, "You have such nice feet for a man," and I was like, "Thanks."
I got like hobbit toes.
I mean, I have hairy toes too, but like, I don't know, the veins. The women love the veins.
Well, let's be real. It's not going to be women that are looking at your feet. That's ultimately
Listen,
why I decided
against
it.
You pay $20 is $20, dog.
There's a line.
Well,
There's
if it's feet.
There's a very firm line.
You ain't touched them in the real. The real world. Neo, this is the real world.
Except it wasn't the real world because the latest Matrix movie apparently made all of that a lie. Which I haven't watched it yet, but...
What? No, they didn't.
Well, Neo went back into the Matrix. The fuck?
Yeah, because he was dead. Have you watched it?
No.
He didn't go back into the Matrix?
No, because I'm doing what the left does. I judge it before I see it.
No, see, the thing is, he and, what's-her-face?
Trinity?
Neo and Trinity died. They rebuilt them and put them back into the Matrix.
Oh.
And then everyone's, like, so fucking dumb. They're, like, talking shit about it. I'm like, did you watch it and understand it? Like, there was a few things. I was even explaining to my wife. And she's like, I explained that to her, and she goes, wow, that made the movie make so much more sense. And I was like, how'd you not pick up on that? I was like, you're not as big a fan of the original trilogy as I thought you were.
To be fair, I'm not a fan of the trilogy. I'm a fan of the first. I'm a fan of the first one.
The first one was fucking amazing.
The first one's groundbreaking. It's like we didn't even stand up, man.
I'm glad I didn't spit my drink all over the microphone. I got 2 turntables and a microphone. Where it's at.
So, okay, so Lizzo's thing. And then now Lizzo apparently hasn't disappeared from the headlines because apparently conservatives are just so mad that Lizzo is fat and black and...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say nobody wants to see Lizzo twerk. Because
there are people
there's
out there.
people out there. And you know what? You guys do you. I really don't care. I just don't want to see it. So I just stay away from it. But there was some controversy about
big, small. I'll watch them all. Just kidding.
I was going to say, Lizzo? Okay. But I guess the controversy about her playing James Madison's glass flute was, I think that whole controversy was overblown because I guess there was a private concert she did, which I'll give credit where credit's due. She can obviously play the flute. She's quite good. I got no problem with that. I didn't really have a problem with her playing it at the concert. I was just kind of like, don't take it out of the Library of Congress, you stupid fucks. Like, it's fine. Let her play it there where it can be supervised, and if something happens, they can interject, but don't take it to a concert venue.
Yeah, that's an insurrection.
It's not an insurrection. I just think,
she's stealing from the freaking house.
Well, no, they let her.
Oh, they let her.
Yeah, they let her.
Kind of like they let the people in the doors.
Oh. Yeah, and by the way, I think we'll do it next week. We'll do our midterm election previews and go back to our roots, which is appropriate because
it's that time.
Do you know that it was 2 years ago? So this will be our third year. It was 2 years ago we started this podcast in October.
Yes, and thank you to all the new subscribers.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Just watch our shit. Just kidding. Like and subscribe.
And share.
Share
like you believe in life after love.
Have you watched Land of the Lost? With Will Ferrell?
No.
And Danny McBride? Oh my gosh, you're missing out. There's a girl in it, and they come up to this, like, I want to say like a prism, and they're touching it, and apparently it does something, but like when they put their hands on it, it like makes their voice all shaky and sound auto-tuned, and then they're just like, do you believe in life after love? But then he's just like, hey Holly, you should come sit on this. Jokes in movies that wouldn't go over well today because people are soft. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with anything. I'm removing my socks.
Hey, they haven't paid.
Who haven't paid?
Them.
Oh, well, you can't see my feet.
So also, before we, since we're off topic anyway, I'm just gonna. Did you see the latest Instagram reel that I put up?
No.
It's the Supernatural Celine Dion one.
I liked it.
But I timed the music. It has the guitar thing in it.
Oh my god, I can't play it. Damn it.
So
I'm gonna listen to it after
yeah, go to Instagram.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, dude, I spent 20 minutes lining that crap up. Because at first I was like, I gotta make sure it's the right version of the song. It's in there.
I listened to the song and I could not find that guitar part, so I'm gonna have to let you hear it.
You'll have to, if you want to hear the guitar part I'm talking about.
It's on the video.
Yeah, look up the music video.
All right, let's get on topic.
Yes, because.
So, what our initial topic, and then we decided to do this blanket.
Yeah, so we're essentially talking about how it seems to me and anyone who's observing that they are actively trying to destroy, Western society, but specifically in the United States. They're trying to destroy, everything about this country historically that
made it good. That's the only thing I can think of to say is, they're actively trying to take
and we're not
everything that made this country America.
And we're not even just talking about what are traditionally thought of as right-wing conservative values.
No.
We're talking about just general values economic stability and economic growth.
Capitalism, there are certain aspects about it that suck. I mean, believe me, but at the end of the day, I would take capitalism over anything.
Well, and
I'll be the first. World.
I'll be the first to admit a perfectly capitalist system requires morality, and we are sorely lacking in that these days. But I would encourage people who are, or at least claim to be anti-capitalism, to really look at your life, but also look at where you're observing capitalism, because if you're only judging it by giant corporations, then no, you're not seeing true you're seeing a form of capitalism, corporatism. But it's, oh god, and I had the greatest example of this. It's Ricky Gervais pointed out, it's you got Apple, everybody loves Apple, everybody's working for Apple, and they have sweatshops in China. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these corporations are driving this thought, and they're turning a profit on it. All the anti-capitalist people are walking around with iPhones and wearing hipster clothes that they overpaid for at Urban Outfitters.
And whining about it.
It's I hate capitalism, man. Let's go get Starbucks. Oh, is that AI painting thing?
No, that's our thumbnail.
I know, but
I don't know what it is. I just found it and I was like, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it works.
No, I was trying to get in here to fix our thing because I put it on entertainment instead of
news
and politics.
So, well, it started out as entertainment.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch that real quick. I think I can do it.
You should be able to.
Because we're not seeming to get anybody in here.
But there's no limit to what you can do if you can imagine.
And of course, as soon as I do that. Okay, it didn't freeze. Okay, we're good.
We're still here, but also back.
Here on the Average Intelligence Podcast, we are so good that we can figure things out midstream.
It's like watching apes use tools for the first time.
Ape together.
Strong.
That worked out well. See now,
Listen,
people are starting to pop in.
Listen, guys, here's the thing. You have to understand about us. There's, I know, yeah, we're silly. We have fun with it. There is a reason why our logo is a chimpanzee wearing a suit.
Yes.
We're not pretending to be brilliant minds, even though...
But don't just click off so fast. Because there are fucking fun things... Oh, excuse my language. Excuse. Anyway, so back to the lecture at hand.
Lecture at hand.
I love that term. I think that's from a song. Anyway, so... yeah, basically, they're trying to actively sink America. And when we say they, we say leftists, Democrats, any of that baloney.
I just can't understand why. That's what I can't wrap my head around.
I don't understand it either, because at the end of the day, if they're doing it like with another country, let's say China, and America's going to be in such a bad spot that China essentially finds a way to take over. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying if that were the idea, it's at the end of the day, you think China's really gonna that's like siding with Darth Vader and expecting him to treat you like a person and not kill you if you do something wrong.
The only thing I can really think of is that somehow, some way, they're thinking they're gonna get money out of it. Money and or power.
I don't know.
But the less cynical side of me honestly thinks that these are people that honestly think that they're correct and are doing the right thing, but are just so delusionally wrong that they're not, and they can't be told that they're wrong. They won't accept it.
Right.
Which I think is probably the more likely, except for the super elites that are doing all of this for money.
I just don't understand. Literally, we have 28 days left of diesel. Did you hear about that today?
No.
In the supply, there's literally only 28 days left of diesel. In the supply of America, and it's that's not. Did I say 28? What
28 days, you said.
28 days. Sorry, but anyway, so it's come on, guys, get it together. There are I know a lot of semis run on gas too, but I'm pretty sure there's a bunch that run on diesel.
A bunch run on diesel. Well, so, let me ask you this, just in the essence.
That's just another fuck on supply chains.
In the interest of getting the full picture, where did you get that figure from? And the only reason I ask is because that is alarming.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was independent. I want to say Timcast. I fairly agree with most of their stuff, and I'm pretty sure it was more than just that. Let me double check.
It's so interesting you bring that up, though. I'm wondering on the particulars.
He's been doing a lot of click me stuff.
Yeah,
and I think it's just because they're getting very popular. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy most of his banter, Tim Pool, but for the most part, he's still obviously very lefty. I started sounding like Tate there for obviously.
Ever since you quote unquote called me out on that, I don't think I intentionally do it, but I did. It was funny.
Of what?
Of sometimes talking like Tate.
Oh yeah, he's a big Tate fan. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't idolize. He doesn't worship the guy.
I idolize no one, but
yeah,
a lot of what he says makes sense on certain things. But you also have to understand that, as we've said numerous times, the bulk of what Tate, well, not so much anymore. Now he's gotten more serious.
So how's Bloomberg sit with you?
Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, we're screwed.
I generally try to double check myself when I say things.
This isn't a dog on you.
I did not before 2016. I will say that I would share articles without reading them.
Well, no, and I'm not. This isn't a dog on you, but it's so funny because on aratemedia.org, link in the description, I'm going to be posting a blog in the next day or two about, granted, the bulk of it uses wrestling television ratings to illustrate this point, but it's all about numbers. And I've talked about it on the podcast before, is numbers are, for something that is so precise and finite, numbers are alarmingly malleable and easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
So, and the
Except ours. I'm having trouble figuring that out. No, I'm just kidding.
well, no, it's funny. I actually coined a really cool term in this blog post, so I suggest you all go read it for this. I kind of coined the term, and I ended up being able to bookend it. I don't consider myself a great writer, but this is pretty good. It's adding the zero. And what this means is, like, adding a zero to a particular number could be the difference between being poor and being wealthy. For example, $10,000 a year is nothing. $100,000 a year is a decent income in most of the country. And it's adding a zero, but it's simultaneously literally adding $90,000. It just depends on how you look at it.
I like that.
I know, right? That's what I thought.
You came up with that?
Yeah, just today I was doing
No, all right, listen. You didn't hear nothing.
No, they did. It's copyrighted now.
Oh, okay, there we go. Adding the zero. Dude, that would make a fucking killer book.
Right? And I'm already doing certain blog posts for another book I'm writing, 101 ways to fail at life. So
you know what?
That's already. That's
I'm gonna start coming up with some pieces too, because
it was funny. I was going to talk to you about this off there, but the blog on rtmedia.org is open for everyone in our little network. So if you've got something you want to write down and put on it, just send it to me.
Send it to the internet.
Send it to the internet.
All right. Let's get back.
Well, no, so I'm bringing this full circle.
Oh,
so I'm always cautious and wary when I hear numbers, particularly in the news media, and I'll use COVID as an example because I brought this up in the podcast, is it's like you notice when they were doing all this reporting, they were sharing the hard numbers because they wanted to emphasize, which I understand. These are big numbers, don't get me wrong. But then when you do a little bit of quick math, you look at the actual mortality percentage rate, and it's less. It was like 1.2%, I think, was when it was all said and done.
I thought it was less than 1%.
I might have been thinking of the United States or the world, maybe. I can't remember.
The world, I believe it was less than 1%. I believe it was like less than 0.1%.
Well, I figured it today, and I think it was.
I could be wrong. Because actually a lot of places were overestimating their numbers.
Sure.
And,
so it's hard to say.
That was in the news as well. So, but everyone forgets about that.
I think
it's like government's lie.
I think while we were still heavily in the pandemic, I did the math, and it was right about 2%. And I even said on this very program, I said, assuming that their numbers are right, which we have reason to believe that they're inflated or at least skewed.
You just made me remember part of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about.
The numbers were, it was roughly 2% using their figures. And there were some numbers that suggest it was less than 1%. But even in the worst case scenario, 2%. So you can spin that either way. You can say X, and it's a very large number, I get it. Like X number of people have been infected, X number of people died. But if you're trying to downplay something, you share a low percentage, and all of a sudden it's no big deal. And what I used in the blog is like only 1% of people had adverse side effects. What's your sample size? If your sample size is 10, that's not bad. That's 1 in 10.
Right.
But if your sample size is 1 million people, 1% still.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, life lost is life lost. It's never good. But the thing is, like, unfortunately, we live by numbers and statistics. So therefore, like, you have to go by deadliness. And COVID really wasn't as bad as it could have been. Now, the thing is, there are labs here in America, for some fucking reason, they are playing with fire. They are literally taking the virus and supposedly, I'm not 100% on this. I'm pretty sure they were talking about something else, but they worked with, what was the most recent strain that everybody was talking about? Omicron?
Oh, I don't know what strain it was, but I believe Omicron.
They were working with that.
Oh,
it had an 80% kill rate in mice. And it's like, why? In nature, that doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, potentially it could, but that would be a terrible, horrible.
What? It says, all right, Hydro, how about you start by selling Blumpkin videos? Blumpkin the pumpkin.
Okay, I've heard.
That's not the same. That's user.
I know. No, I've heard of Blumpkin. What is this Blumpkin thing?
I'm pretty sure that's like a blowjob on the toilet.
Ew.
I think.
Oh,
I used to call that overseas. Is that not hilarious? Overseas? I thought that was way more funnier than Blumpkin.
That's way funnier. Overseas is so good. That's great.
I mean, everyone with me like 15 years ago when I made that up, they were like, that's hilarious. And then for some reason I forgot it. Thanks for bringing that back.
Until just now. Cheers.
Old Blumpkin. Anyway, so, gosh.
Oh
yeah,
my
so
God.
The lab, I believe it was in Boston or something like that. You know, they were messing with COVID strains and they were able to have an 80% kill rate. And I'm like, why would you even mess with that? Like, somebody's going to, like, let a mouse out and it's going to be the apocalypse.
I will say again what I said at the very beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Did you not watch the movie Outbreak?
Love Harold and Kumar. Yeah, right. He said Harold and Kumar got that started. Did they? What did they?
I'm gonna.
I've only seen the.
I'm gonna get some online hate real quick.
Oh, you don't like Harold Kumar?
Oh, I've never seen it. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I've never seen it.
There's no way if you've never seen the first one, you have to like it. I'm like that kid that's later on. You can do anything. You. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm a living meme.
Oh God, between the two of us.
All right, what was you gonna say?
Oh no, it's like you have. I said at the beginning of COVID, I was like, have you guys not seen the movie Outbreak? Because they laid it all out for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then now it's like, were you not there in 2019 and 2020? Like, it just happened, guys.
I mean, we would have been over COVID a lot faster if literally we were just gone out of business.
If they'd never fucking done it.
Yeah, well, that too. Okay, sorry. That too. If they wouldn't have released it. Like, I know that's hearsay and whatnot, and obviously I'm not gonna say I'm still anything, but
I'm still of the camp that I don't think it was released intentionally. I think it was released through negligence, but
and it came from a lab.
Come on,
like because those type of viruses, the way it was, I don't know the DNA or whatever it was that's in it. Like apparently it was.
I believe I read at some point, and don't quote me on this because I'm trying to go off of memory. I believe it said that those type of viruses to cross.
They do not exist in nature.
Well, no, they do, but it's very rare and very difficult for them to cross into from animals to humans.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong though. I think Hydro's filming now.
He's starting out free because saturated market. Who's Hydro?
Who is Hydro?
Please, if you have an inside joke, let us know.
Yeah, I want to know. Is it the water dog from Darkwing Duck? Like,
I don't know. Maybe we said something, dude, in the chat. Oh
God, we're stupid.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. We're not thinking of the names.
Listen, our logo is a chimp wearing a suit for a reason.
We're not that intelligent. we literally stated average.
In fact, we've been told by very reliable sources that we are below average intelligence. So we need all the help we can get.
Start selling Blumpkin videos. That's hilarious.
This is painful.
Oh, what this podcast right now?
Yeah, this is.
It's not that bad. Just stay on track.
Oh, it's funny, but.
Well, I mean, besides stopping more drilling here in the United States, when they say we're on track to become the most productive oil producer in the world for 2023, we're on track for it, and I'm like, how?
We can't be. There's no way.
Like, I don't know. Maybe we are using more, but the thing is, like, they were selling some of it overseas when they released the strategic reserve.
This is what I just completely don't understand, and this is. I understand that there are legitimate environmental concerns, and I get that. But
dude, you ain't lying. He says it's a new era. The internet doesn't require rebuttals anymore. You'll be all right.
You are correct, sir.
That is very correct.
That is true. But
people generally screw themselves over when they talk,
especially us. But no, here's what I don't understand, and this is why I'm convinced that Joe Biden does not have a mind of his own. He is a slave to the ideology of whoever is telling him what to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Is look at the current situation.
I feel bad for him.
I don't,
I
because
know.
he
I
put
look
himself.
at him because he's declining so fast,
Well,
and like I just feel bad for him. That's somebody's grandpa. I know he's an idiot and he's weird and he likes to touch and smell young children.
not even. Well, I was gonna say like, not even touch super inappropriately, more awkwardly. I've never seen him like grope a woman.
He just does it in the weirdest way.
It's so weird. Why would you
know,
do
to
that?
be honest with you, I don't even really think he's that like evil when it comes to that. Like I don't think that's on his radar. He's just so weird about it. He's awkward.
But here's the problem, and this is when all this
I got
was
hairy legs.
when all this was starting to come out. My first thought literally was like, I think it's in his mind. I think it's innocent, but why? I've never been around a small child ever.
He grew up with some touchy-feely parents, man.
I mean that's
no
got to
way.
be it. And like I'm so not like I'm not accusing him of being like a
Him and Dad shared baths. Just saying.
well, so did Goku
When
and
they were
Gohan.
16. Sorry. That was a little delayed.
Anyway,
Now, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not just going to attack Democrats. I'll attack everybody.
no, just the dumbins.
Yeah, just the people who do weird shit.
Speaking of attacking Democrats, though, I saw a video recently, today, of... I don't have the full context. I'm going based on what somebody said. I couldn't make out what the crowd was saying. Apparently, AOC was speaking,
Yeah.
and they were
something
saying AOC's got to go, and she was mocking them, like doing that whole thing, like swaying with it, being like, I don't care. Listen, we've given AOC a lot of shit on this show, and that's not going to be stopping anytime soon if she's an elected official.
happened. Sosa, did you just like the video? Wait for it. Let's see if we can get a comment. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Well, no, it's just, and we'll talk more about this on the election preview episode when I have more time to research it. I think AOC is not going to get reelected,
No, I'm sorry, but
and that's going to be funny.
Who was it? Marjorie
Taylor Greene.
Taylor Greene.
Mhm.
Okay, I can never remember her fucking name. That shit's too long. Anyway, so she was debating with someone from her. She's not fooling anyone.
Not anymore.
Marjorie. Who, Marjorie or AOC?
No, I think he's talking about AOC.
Okay, well, I was saying, well, I mean...
Marjorie never fooled anyone.
Well, the thing is, Marjorie, I think she's running for re-election.
Yes.
And she was debating her Democrat opposition, and, oh my gosh.
I saw part of that.
She said things that were smart. I was so taken back. And I was like, listen, I was like, she shouldn't have said some of the things she said in the past. You know, that's what they said to AOC. They said, hunker down, keep your head down, do the work, and then talk a few years later.
What's
like
hilarious?
She was instantly trying to be a freaking martyr.
Well, but to be fair, so was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's why I was. That's why.
And before any of you new viewers accuse us of being biased, I gave Marjorie Taylor Greene a verbal talking to right along with AOC. I told them both that they needed to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with politics. People need to realize if someone does good, you congratulate. If someone does bad, you tell them they did bad. It's not that difficult.
We gave Biden the old pat on the back for his, which I later, through reflection and just listening to people who know more about the topic than I do, it really didn't do all that much. But at the same time, it's also all he could do with the pardoning of federal possession offense. Because unfortunately, there's just not a lot he can do. He can only affect the federal level, and most of the charges are state charges.
And state charges, so they're just gonna stay. You know, it sucks because honestly, like if he could have got all 50 states on board with that, that would have been a good thing for him to have done instead of just doing it on federally level, which is a lazy way.
Well, but that's all he can do.
I know that's all he can do, but at the same time, he's the president of the United States. He can convince.
He's
not
trying.
a convincer. No, he's not trying.
Well, no, he did. I'm saying
in his way, he's trying.
I'm saying what he did was he called on state governors to follow suit,
yeah.
which unfortunately is all he can really do. Yeah.
I mean, like, I keep seeing. I was on Twitter earlier, and I don't have a big following on it. I really don't like Twitter, but I was just reading through some comments on some posts, and like there was this one obviously Democrat guy. He was saying that, oh, Democrats are trying to bring back oil production and get gas prices lowered, and then get get inflation down so the prices come down. And like everybody's like,
No, you're not.
No, you're not. Like you guys are not doing anything about this.
Well, they kind of. So they are raising interest rates, which is an unfortunate but
It's not
necessary.
working.
Well, it's not working because they're trying
All
to.
that is doing is stopping people from getting homes now. Because
So
the
it's
thing
not-
is, if you go from 3.5% to 6%, that will make a lot of people ineligible for that loan.
We know that's the point.
I know, but the thing is, though, why wouldn't people? You want to flood the market with more money. So the thing is, if you have the bank loan the money and then you're paying for that,
No.
that raises that would. There's no good way to combat this.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
but
sorry.
this is the only way that will really work long term. It's gonna suck for a little while, but it's
I don't have to worry. I've got a 3.5.
Well, I know. I got locked in at 3.25. Fucker.
Or what was it? 3.25. Oh
Yeah.
sorry.
But
Was it 3.25? No, it was
I know
3.5.
mine was
3.5.
3.25.
My last one was 4.5.
And that's the other thing is those aren't bad interest rates, but this was downright necessary because
1 percentage rate is a lot on $270,000.
well, I know, but here's the problem though is the fact that this house even which one was 200?
This one.
This house even 5 years ago.
Oh, it was
wouldn't have.
180,000, and then we bought it for 275. So, granted, hey.
But the reason,
whatever,
but the reason those prices went up so much was lack of inventory and the fact that it created a housing boom because interest rates were so low.
Yeah, but the prices are not falling as fast as everyone thought, though.
They
Because
will.
We've got.
They will.
I don't think
It's
they're
not.
going
It's
to come
not
down much.
Well, no. The longer they keep interest rates and raise them, and we're about ready to have.
Do you think the housing market's going to come down?
Yes, and here's why. So part of the reason there was a lack of inventory is because, and you know this firsthand, a lot of these big companies were essentially getting money at 0% interest. Firms like BlackRock and these big capital firms, they were getting loans for stupid low and sometimes zero interest.
Is this 2008?
No. This is recent. This is like a lot of COVID money too. So what was happening though is they were buying up these houses because they had basically interest-free loans. So they were buying them up and they put them on the market for renting. But what's happening now, or what's going to happen now, is a lot of these houses are negative on their books. And not all of them, but on some of these big companies, they're going to offload these houses and take a loss on some of them because they're going to have to, just to get them off their books. So there's going to be more inventory on the market, and then simultaneously,
saying that all these companies that bought all these homes, basically this rate hike is going to make them forced to sell?
it's not the only thing that's going to force them to sell. But
No, but the thing is, those giant companies, that's actually a not bad idea. Because honestly, like those big companies shouldn't. I'm all for renting, but at the same time, like these companies, as he was talking about, literally were buying up houses like crazy. And the thing is, once every house is owned and there's really nothing to buy anymore, they can raise rent prices like crazy, and people have no choice but to pay them.
that's what they're going to do. But here's what they didn't count on. What some people are having to do is some people are having to move in with their parents, or families are having to combine
And
because
on
it's
top of that,
unaffordable.
you've got kids living with parents longer
Yeah,
these years.
because it's rents are very soon. In some places they already are. Rents are unaffordable for the average
California,
person.
New York.
Well, even here, like I didn't realize how cheap my rent was.
One bedroom is $1,100 in my city.
That's ridiculous. That's insane. My one bedroom rents for $600, by the way.
He's a man for the people. I keep looking at that.
No, you know what? Really, like it's funny. I always joke and say I have my slumlord reputation to uphold, but really, I mean, like I am trying to get rich, but at the same time, I'd rather have a tenant that gives me less money every month consistently and not have any issues, not have any problems, as opposed to like being greedy and getting that extra $100 but always having problems.
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, what is the number one thing people are not good at managing?
Money.
That was perfectly played.
I was literally like, oh no.
I felt the tension with him. He's like, oh shit, where's he going with this?
Oh, no.
And then at the end of the day, it clicks. Light
Money.
bulb.
Well, no, but I guess, and here's the problem. So what's happening is, for various reasons, it varies by the firm and it varies by the house, because what has happened is some of these some of these companies purchase these homes for way too much, and they're not going to make their money back on the rental. Even if they have it rented, they're not going to make their money back on the rental income for a very, very long time. So they're going to offload a bunch of these houses between all the companies. There's a bunch of houses that are going to get offloaded just to get them off their books. Like, they might even take a loss on it, but they're no longer going to be actively on their books, and they can write the losses off at the end of the year. So there's going to be some more houses on the market, but because they're harder to get, there's going to be a gradual price reduction. And they're doing it the right way, because it's not like people are saying the housing bubble is going to burst again. No, I don't see it, because the other thing that's happening is building is starting to pick up again, because finally building material prices are starting to come down.
Not much, but they're getting
it's believe you me, it's about to, because, like, for example, this is the
actually, yeah, you know.
And it's starting. So lumber has already come down a bit. It's not quite where it was, but it's coming down. And then a lot of companies,
we're still looking at $40 for a sheet of plywood.
Yeah, but it's going to be gradual. But here's the thing. So I actually got an email today. So when all this crap started happening, prices went up. And what companies started doing to try to weather the storm, because freight costs were so high, is they started putting a 10% freight surcharge on a lot of their stuff. Well, those are starting to come off because freight prices have come back down. And one of our flooring manufacturers that we carry has an inventory reduction sale for the remainder of... Oh, I probably am not allowed to talk about that, but fuck it.
Easy killer.
They may or may not be having an inventory reduction sale until the end of the year, because they priced their stuff so high that their sales numbers dropped
exponentially.
I mean, and I told the rep when I was on the phone, I said, you guys aren't going to sell this crap. You know that, right? And believe it or not, laminate flooring is starting to make a comeback because it's cheaper over like luxury vinyl plank, because those got really popular because they were cheap and waterproof. But now, because of the Chinese tariffs and all the COVID nonsense, those prices, because of the not lacquers, oh my God, the materials to make it went way up. So now laminate is about half the price of some of the nicer.
I thought Joe Biden canceled the tariffs on China. Did he not?
Not all of them, but he did cancel some of them. But the damage was done because the production costs still went high.
Yeah, but regardless, though, that was going to help us out in the long run. The tariffs. Like,
I know, I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah, because you were one that said it sucked at first, but then it came back, and then it actually worked in your favor over time.
Well, it worked for more people's favor than China. It worked out great for Mexico. It's, from what I understand, it worked out pretty good for Vietnam, too, and other countries in Southeast Asia. But Joe Biden is beholden to the Chinese government and went back on his word. Like the video. And you know what else you guys are going to like? Give that a whiff. Tell me what you think. Right? That's good.
Gosh.
I didn't think I would like that one.
I did not like that.
You need to change your pants?
I wore my white pants. What does that smell like?
It's after Labor Day, sir.
God, that smells so good. And it's insane that these candles, how they smell like that. Literally, he'll just pop the top off of one of these candles, and I literally feel like someone just like sprayed some really good air freshener.
Like, literally, I can smell it from here. But anyway, this is one of the Halloween-themed candles, the Witch's Brew candle. Lean it over so you can see it.
Yeah, I got a longer reach.
There you go. But this is the only one of the Halloween series that doesn't have scent options. They're all Witch's Brew, because it would be kind of stupid to have a pumpkin pie smelling Witch's Brew candle. But these are still available. StevieWicks.com. You can get these, one of the 4 Halloween-themed colored candles, or the Bleeding Monster candle.
Link in description.
Yes, and soon will be available for local pickup in Fisher, Shelbyville, and Columbus, as well as online orders all across the United States and Canada.
I'm over here racing, dog.
Racing.
I literally have already talked about that. I was like, I need to get a new chair or like grease this one up.
Oh.
He said, sounds like the guy in the yellow shirt has more streaks in his underwear than a NASCAR racetrack.
Anyway, if you want to wear your white pants too, it's StevieWicks.com.
Son of a bitch. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to him.
Visit StevieWicks.com today. The StevieWix.com. Almost spelled it wrong. That would have been embarrassing.
Links in the description to make it easier.
Oh, yes, it is in the description.
Yeah.
Proud sponsor of this podcast. For the life of me, I don't know why, but...
Got another sponsor, but I'll announce that at another time. Obviously, It's the same one we had before OMG CBD, but we're going to be doing a giveaway with some Delta 8 and fun stuff, some edibles. So
I bet Stevie Wicks will throw a candle into that too.
Yeah, that's actually what we were talking about, doing a bundle together, like, maybe for 1,000 subscribers, we'll do that special, because
we'll get you a big box of stuff.
I mean, we're not super far from 1,000, Only 843.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be so great. You know what we need to do?
What?
We just need to add the 0.
You son of a bitch.
I'm
telling
you
you what, though, that's like a ridiculously good title for a book. You just need to be able to come up with some good writing.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'm like I said, I'm not a great writer, but I'm not a terrible writer.
Speaking of, my gummy just kicked in that I took, and that's why everything's funnier to me. So
now there's going to be no limit to what he can imagine.
I'm sorry, I need to stop moving my chair.
This podcast is worth watching just for the running gags.
Because this stuff can be so stupid, but I know there's somebody out there, maybe amongst you 8 billion beautiful people, that laughs at our jokes that are really not that funny.
They're not funny the first time, but as they keep going, like, oh gosh, we have so many now. We've got the My Heart Will Go On guitar riff. We've got the fact that my dumbass didn't know there was actually a dark side of the moon until I was in my 30s.
I literally stumped him because at first he's like, "No, that's not true," and then he literally.
No, I got called. Yeah, because I was disagreeing with him, and then I got called out in the comments, and it was like that moment in Role Models when he was like, "And by the way, it's called a venti because it's 20 ounces," and I'm just like, "Is that true?"
I love that when he's like, "Look, I just called you stupid in 3, or you're
stupid in 3 languages." Yeah, but I felt like Paul Rudd in that moment. I'm like, is that true? And I Googled this shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Yes, you are.
But what that says is we're not afraid to admit when we're wrong. And boy, was I wrong.
Just like Eminem. I'm not afraid. You don't know that song.
Yes, I know that song.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows that song. But I was gonna throw Todd McDonald your way, be like, because Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump.
Yeah. I like most Tom McDonald stuff, but like some of his
some of it's a little too political.
Corny. No, not the political stuff. It's corny. Like his hooks, when he's like, I can't even think of any of the hooks right now because they're just so terrible. I don't hate all of them, but it is what it is.
I'm glad he's making his music, though.
No, and the thing is, yeah, dude. Oh, fuck. I just made myself bleed. It's all right.
How many times did I tell you not to? Never mind. That's disgusting.
Don't play with knives, children. That's not a knife.
That's a knife.
But, yeah. Tom McDonald, he fits perfectly in here because the thing is, he keeps getting... M isn't very good at singing hook. It's unfortunate. No, Eminem. I'm pretty sure there was a song back in the day he did where he's like, "Man, I want to sing. Fuck it, I'm going to sing," and it's not good, but it's a good song.
Yeah.
If I imagine if you're a fan out there, you definitely know what song I'm talking about.
Speaking of Eminem, I watched 8 Mile the other night.
That was such a good movie.
It was such a good movie.
And that's the thing. Like you can have actors who, musicians who can act well. I mean, honestly, I feel like he was just playing himself.
You know what? And this might be a hot take.
Technically he was because the movie is technically about him. It was just a little difference here and there.
This is a hot take, though. I'll be honest, because I remember around the time the movie came out, I watched an interview with him where he said, I don't want this to be a movie about Eminem. I want this to be a movie that Eminem happens to be in, and he's playing a different character. And to me, I know it's Eminem, but I don't see Eminem playing a character, which is a testament to his acting ability.
Because he does not. His verses are way better than his choruses.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about Tom McDonald or Eminem?
Well, I mean, both, really.
Eminem's got some good choruses.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying in relation to.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Tom McDonald's choruses, they're just terrible.
They so
Eminem, okay, yeah.
Fake woke. Facts
no,
don't care about feelings.
And I'm not saying it's not catchy. I'm just saying
catchy.
it's corny.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with you.
I don't know, man. When it comes to rap, I'm a different monster when it comes to what I like and what is a part of
So basically, what you're
the
saying,
potion of what I like.
So basically, what you're saying is they're about as corny as a Midwestern Democrat.
No, that shit's got to be hard. You know, and when I'm talking hard, I'm talking diamond. No, I'm just kidding. Diamonds in the rough. Except that wasn't Eminem.
Wait, is that an Aladdin reference?
No, dog. That's a Judas Priest.
Oh, okay.
The only
Oh,
reason
God,
I
yes,
even know
it
that
is.
song is because of a skate video back in the day I used to watch all the time called, it was by Zero, the skateboard company.
You know what? I want to hear from America.
I can't remember.
Anyone who's watching right now, put in the comments what you're most concerned about right now in the country. It can be anything. And we'll tell you why it's the Democrats' fault. We're waiting. Oh, well, there's a delay, so.
Yeah. That's like when you're answering questions, you need to. I'm more a music fan.
Before hip-hop fan.
Dude, hey, man, I tell you what, like, when it comes to voice, it matters. Like, there are rappers out there that are so good, but I can't stand them because of their voice. Who's the one black guy? I know that's really racist.
Yeah, that's super
but
specific.
No, he doesn't. He's a rapper, but he doesn't really sound like your normal average rappers. He's really fast. What is his name? I think it starts with an R.
Oh man, I love Rurr.
I can't remember his name.
Rurr and his homeboy starts with an R.
I don't really care for him. He
Dude, those can be our rap names. And starts with an R. Starts with an R. Starts with an R.
No, starts with an E. Because you can't feel me when I shoot the breeze.
Hold up, I'm about to sneeze.
I ain't got nothing slick, you prick. I'm not a rapper.
See, that's some corny rap.
Corn. I like corn. All right, we're getting way out there.
Well, I'm waiting for America to tell me what they're concerned about, so that we can
an American username.
so that we can stoke the fear.
For sure.
Faux shizzle.
So like.
Faux shizzle, my fizzle.
I don't know.
Because I can't say nizzle.
What else do you got? You seem out of it.
Who, me?
Yeah, you seem
Dude,
tired.
I'm way out of it. No, I didn't have, and I'm spacing it now. I did have something I wanted to touch on. It'll come to me.
Don't you say children. Sorry, he was having a Biden moment.
I was just looking at my hairy legs. It turned black. Oh, okay. So here's, I remember.
You want to touch on?
No, I remember. So this, God, this is.
That was a terrible joke.
This is bad. That's disgusting. Anyway, what I was going to say, and we were talking about gas. The United States, if we turn it around right now, we can still become, I mean, we're already the world's largest economic superpower, but we can really dominate. Like, because when Russia invaded Ukraine and they shut off the gas pipelines to Europe in protest, which I agree with, they just didn't have a backup plan. That backup plan could have been the United States. Very easily. But no. Biden had to go and be a moron, and instead, I understand if you want to transition slowly to renewables where it's applicable, I get that. But they just...
They ain't trying to do it slowly.
No, that's what I'm saying. They did a blanket, like, really, no more oil anywhere. How stupid do you have to be? Do you really think that solar is an option in a place like, well, here?
Well, the thing is, solar is definitely useful, but
Yes.
it's so expensive. They haven't got it down. Like, they're getting there.
It's going to take time.
Electric is the future. It really is. Solar is the future. I wholeheartedly believe that. But the thing is, we're not there yet. So until we get there, why aren't we looking at like fusion?
Well, there's fusion, nuclear, well, fission, because we're trying to figure out nuclear fusion, but
No, we've
That's
done
tricky.
fission. We're
we're trying to fusion, yeah.
Okay, sorry. The only
It's
reason.
funny. All they have to do is do the dance right.
I can't remember.
You want to know what's fucked up?
what?
Technically, you can make that metaphor work. because nuclear fusion is a choreographed dance of molecules
Bitch.
fusing together. Anyway, no, but nuclear is probably the only option that could be applied everywhere because there is a temperature problem in a lot of places in the world. Because let's take a place like super northern, like Winnipeg, Canada, where winters on average get, I think, at least below 20, if not below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's negative 20 Celsius is what I've heard.
Thanks for the sub, Andrew.
Thank you, sir. But so let's assume that you have renewable setups. I'm pretty sure that solar panels don't work as well or at all when they're frozen. I'm pretty sure that windmills won't work when they're frozen.
Solar panels, they work in negative temperatures, but the thing is...
How negative, though?
I imagine whatever...
How about where it's dark?
I would probably say like less than freezing would be an issue. Like I know 32 degrees isn't really super cold.
It's freezing.
I'd probably say 12, 15 degrees would probably be breaking point. But all you just have to do is just keep snow and condensation off of them.
I'm talking about somewhere like Winnipeg, which is affectionately nicknamed Winterpeg for a reason. There are parts of Canada where you literally can only access certain parts by car in the winter because the lakes freeze over. They call them winter roads. You can only access them by car on certain routes after the lakes have frozen over. And then
That's so cool.
Well, but what about parts of Alaska where it's completely dark 6 months out of the year? Solar was not going to work there.
It's dark, but it's more like twilight.
No, there are some places where
black.
it's...
Is it?
No, it's night. Or like you might have an hour of daylight.
I've looked up. Maybe it's. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the daylight. Like when it gets later in the evening, it's actually more twilight than it is daylight. Like I watched some videos on Alaska.
Yeah.
I can't. I guess I can't make. I can't explain.
There are parts of the northern hemisphere that during certain parts, but there.
I agree.
Conversely, there are parts of it where you get daylight all the time, which is why a lot of Alaskan houses, it's my understanding, in certain parts of it at least, you have to buy blackout curtains because otherwise you won't go to sleep because it's fucking daylight out all the time.
Honestly, back in the day, I would put blankets on my windows just to get that extra darkness because I did not want to wake up early. I've never liked waking up early.
I guess what my overarching point here is that as the technology stands now, renewable energy is not applicable in a lot of areas of the world. Now, there are some places that are, powered by hydroelectricity. That's fine, but if you don't have a large running body of water, you can build a dam. That's kind of a problem. Likewise, if you live in a place that gets extremely cold.
Would you say water flowing through a river would be stronger than like say waves, like constant waves?
It depends on the river, but potentially it just depends.
The thing is, like, could you harness the power of the ocean because it's always moving?
I'm sure there's a way. The problem with hydroelectricity, you need it moving in one direction to turn the wheel.
I know.
Or to turn the turbines in the more sophisticated. I'm talking about a basic water
wheel.
But
I meant like the waves, not like
I think there
trapping the waves, but like underneath, you got to think it's a constant circle.
I think there are some places that do that. I don't know what the technology is called, but I'm pretty sure
that would just make sense.
Right.
And then they're underneath, as long as they're made with stuff that's not going to damage the ecosystem and the ocean right there, But we can figure that stuff out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People are smart. We're really smart. We figured shit out. We literally went from not even having airplanes to going to the fucking moon.
Dog, I don't even think we're that smart. I think we were given this technology, and we figured it out. Not by aliens. I think it's by future selves. Actually, that's not true. That's really stupid what I just said. But no, obviously you have to give man credit where credit is due. And I was watching a video, this one guy, literally, when everyone sees the pyramids and they're like, oh my gosh, there's no way a human built that. It had to be aliens to help him do that. And I watched this guy with a probably 50-pound, 60-pound sledgehammer. It wasn't a sledgehammer. It was kind of like a stone axe where they hit the stone.
Yeah.
And he was literally full swing, kink, kink, in a straight line, no help, just like bam, bam, bam. And then when he hit it perfectly here and here, it split perfectly and was almost perfectly a 90-degree angle. Now there are some 90-degree angles in nature. I would say not nature, but like they can't be explained. Like even by millions of years of erosion or something like that. Like I'll have to show you what I'm talking about. It's
well, so
wild.
here's where you run into one of the fallacies of humanity, though, is we have in our phenomenon. Well, no, here's what I'm saying. In our brains, we have a gift for pattern recognition, which is why we, saw patterns in the stars, so we plotted out constellations. It's how we can navigate by the stars because we recognize patterns. It's why we often mistake coincidences for signs because we recognize patterns the way virtually no other animal does. So we can attribute things that aren't there. That's why comets for a long time were bad omens, because we recognized when they would come around. We'd seen it before.
Well, I mean, with what you're talking about, I mean, this is kind of side subject, but it's fun. Christopher Columbus, when he came, exactly the story I'm going to tell.
The eclipse.
Well, yeah, the eclipse. He basically asked the natives for food for the return, and the natives, they never believed in making more than they need, so they had enough just for them for the winter. And instead, Christopher Columbus told them, "My God is more powerful than your God. If you don't give me half of your food, my God is going to kill you."
Blot out the sun on next Tuesday.
Exactly. He said, like, in 4 days or whatever, come blah, the moon's gonna turn blood red, and then all of a sudden it turned blood red, and they came.
Oh no, there was a solar eclipse because he knew there was going to be a solar eclipse that day.
Oh, I thought it was red.
Nope, it was a solar eclipse. Oh. So that freaked him right out.
Oh yeah, they just gave the food right up. Like, you can hate on Columbus all you want because the dude was.
That's good.
He was that, but the thing is though, like,
but
he brought Western living.
He rejoined.
It would have came back. It would have come naturally.
Eventually,
but he was the first to bring that life. That culture,
I see you.
That culture.
I see you two have seen the Neil deGrasse Tyson video on Joe Rogan podcast video.
No.
Oh, because Neil deGrasse Tyson was asked what he thinks the most important moment in science in history was, and he said
had to have been him who said that.
Yeah, he said this is going to be controversial, but I think Christopher Columbus, landing in the Caribbean, because
he could have landed anywhere.
No, he couldn't have. He would have eventually run into there. But anyway, he said the reason that was the most important event historically is because continents that had been separated completely for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years potentially, humans that had lived in isolation from each other for all time, since before history was being written down.
That's so fucking wild.
Were reunited. Same species. Isolated for tens of thousands of years. One man gets on not one man, but a couple guys get on a boat and hit that beach, and all of a sudden humanity is united again.
And the thing is, they didn't know who they were going to meet there.
No, they had
no idea. So, like, then we met with that, but it's still wild.
He figured they were going to meet some kind of natives, or they were probably hoping for. They were hoping. Oh, God, I was going to say something else about it, and I completely lost it. Oh, well, it'll come back to me. It always does.
Back to waves and rocks. Easy reference for anyone. So, I mean...
Well, at least there aren't killer androids out there that are taking over the world, but give it time.
I don't know, dude.
Given what they're doing with viruses, it's only a matter of time before they build robots.
Did you not see Harry, the Prince Harry's wife, in that video where she looked like a robot?
Oh,
seriously,
no.
dude. It was creepy. It was just like that SpongeBob episode where he thought Krabs was a robot.
I'm wrong. There is a robot. Tom Cruise is a robot.
Oh no, Tom Cruise is not a robot.
Yes, he hasn't aged in 30 years.
Yes, he has. You can definitely
a little bit.
But
he's gotten software updates.
No, there are people like Matthew Broderick who are a robot. The same character in every single movie, but he's so popular.
That's just called mediocre acting. And I like Matthew Broderick. Before you just simmer down.
I don't hate him at all.
I don't hate him at all.
He's like Jeff Goldblum. I mean, the only good movie he ever was in was The Fly. And a lot
Jeff
of people don't
Goldblum?
remember. Yeah, he was the original. He was in the original
Jurassic
The Fly.
Park.
Nah, that's not a good movie.
Excuse
Just
me.
kidding. Hold on to your butts.
That son of a bitch, he actually did it.
Okay,
that was
fine.
solid.
That is a good movie.
That's going to be a clip for sure.
Oh man, we've been killing the YouTube Shorts.
We have
lately.
been killing the YouTube Shorts. There's been a couple duds, but honestly, the last one that only got like 8 views, I understand because it's old news. Nobody's talking about COVID anymore.
Brittany Griner.
No. I'm talking about the seatbelts versus vaccines.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody cares.
I try to change things up. Like if something's live for like 4 hours and we don't get any attention on it, I try to change things. Because you could change things. It's like tonight, I literally changed that from
And
this
we got
to politics,
the viewers.
and people started coming in. We appreciate you hanging out. Oh, we get another thing.
Budgets than horror films. I would say because horror films don't require a big budget.
That depends on what kind of horror you're talking about. Like if you're talking about like It, I mean, yeah, that was a horror movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was a really big budget.
Well, but in its
The
essence,
newer one. Sorry.
here's the true reason for that. The reason is to make a good horror movie, you don't actually need a lot of money.
No.
Because what's scarier than the unknown?
That's why I said like what type of genre.
Yeah, well, Hitchcock was the master of suspense, and a lot of what he did was simple anticipation. Which is, I think, what horror movie was it that I thought was doing great until they revealed them? I'm trying to remember.
Nope.
I think it might have been The Conjuring.
Oh yeah, dude. The Fly definitely had a bigger budget than the original It. The original It was actually made for TV.
Wait, did they remake The Fly?
I don't remember if they remade The Fly. The Fly was, for its time,
Yeah.
it was a good movie.
Well, I mean, it still holds up pretty well. But getting back to what I was saying, sci-fi in and of itself requires more of a budget because the effects have to be convincing. Otherwise, you're like...
Yeah.
So that would be why.
And honestly, any sci-fi can turn horror. What was that one movie?
Brightburn?
2008. No, that was a great movie. But 2008
awesome.
was 2008.
Cloverfield?
No, that was a terrible movie. Cloverfield Paradox. No. Facts for show.
Thank you for spelling facts right, by the way.
Oh, when you was expecting FAX.
Well, I wasn't expecting it, but I see it all the time. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake, it's 2 more letters.
Pandorum.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, that's a
I'm not big
great
into
movie.
I'm not big into horror. I'm trying to think of what
It's not, I mean, I would count it as horror, but it's really good.
Case in point, the original Halloween, shoestring, but actually John Carpenter spent most of the budget on a good camera,
Absolute shoestring budget.
but still holds up. Was legitimately terrifying, especially at the time. Not so much anymore because we've been desensitized, but at the time, and I mean, honestly, we could make that movie today on an iPhone. Literally. It wouldn't be as good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we could replicate the shots, shot for shot. You could replicate it with an iPhone.
There is a man in Decatur County here in Indiana, and he is Michael Myers. Look him up on YouTube. Michael Myers of Decatur.
Oh my God, that sounds hilarious.
Dude, the stuff he does on here on YouTube. I found him on Facebook originally, but he has a YouTube channel. You want to support your little guys. And yeah, his content is hilarious. But it's just Michael Myers. He's just doing Michael Myers shit.
Oh, I think I've seen him. I didn't realize he was in Decatur, though.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
My wife is the one who told me that.
That's awesome.
And she was like, check this guy out. He's in Decatur County. Decatur.
Decatur.
But,
you know what's truly horrifying, though?
mobile devices did it.
The state of the United States under Democratic rule.
It's like, listen, when you say it can't get any worse, don't say that when Democrats are in charge.
My foot is firmly in my mouth. As I said, it can't get worse than this. And Biden said, hold my beer and Geritol.
Dog.
Like, And I shudder to think of how much worse it can get, because believe you me, it can.
Believe me, I was completely set up financially, and then he ruined me. I mean,
Yeah, no, and I'm telling you, like, you keep dismissing that as somewhat hyperbolic, and it's like, no, really, if you think about it, Joe Biden really did ruin you financially.
I was on set to make $150,000. This is how much everything he's done has affected people, because I'm people. I was on set to make like probably $150,000, give or take, on the market, and he did what he did, and it straight down. Maybe like 30,000. I was like, but $30,000 barely covers my mortgage. Actually, that's not true. I don't know. That's not for you to know.
Yeah, it's none of your business.
But if you want it your business, I will talk about it.
I was going to say, but we'll talk about it.
It's just like the video, whores.
We truly, truly are.
But I really don't have a whole lot to add to this, because you could literally talk about this every day and every night until America truly does sink into the ocean.
I'm still marveling at the level of delusion that they have, though, because it's 2016 all over again. They think they've got it in the bag, and it's like, and it's worse. Because you were coming off of Obama in 2016, which things weren't terrible. Things were all right. They just thought they had it in the bag. Now it's like full-on delusion. Like, how can you think that you stand a snowball's chance in hell that you're going to take away this midterm election? Because even liberals are sick of your guys' shit.
I mean, I literally was just watching a video of a drag show at a freaking elementary school, and it was like kids that are like, not like 15, 16 years old where they understand what's going on, but they were like literally like seven and maybe 8 years old, and I'm like, no.
I truly do not understand.
Why
I don't get it. Why? I don't, like, it doesn't even make sense from a logical standpoint. Like, I just don't get it. This is what we literally have Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. We have Vladimir. I'm sorry, Vladimir. I didn't mean to butcher your name. Please don't shoot a rocket at me.
Don't apologize to that dude.
Hey, he's got a nuclear warhead and I don't. I'm sorry, bro.
Hey, I don't know if this is true or not. I literally just saw this as I was like peering at my phone. But apparently Putin launched a nuke, but it was sabotaged, so it didn't detonate. Or he didn't launch it, I'm sorry. There was something sabotaged about it, and it didn't go off. And I was like, I guarantee you everybody within his camp would find a way to stop him, because no one wants fucking war. And I don't know if that's true or not, because
I'm willing to bet.
I don't trust Putin wholeheartedly, but honestly, I feel like there's some fuckery going around, and we don't know the whole story between.
I think they're playing a very dangerous game right now, because they're assuming, and like I think I'm rightfully assuming that Putin does not want to use a nuke, because if he wanted to, he would have already done it.
No one does.
He's searching for an off ramp for a way that he can quasi save face, and honestly, given the gravity of what's going on, I think we should really give it to him. Like, give him the off ramp. He doesn't get away scot free. He doesn't get Ukraine. He might cede some territory, but
after all this, I would say get Ukraine's ass out of what did
they didn't join NATO yet, but they're now talking
this
about
last time.
Yeah, they're talking about
Which
it.
The thing is, that's what Russia was pissed about initially, was that they didn't want them to join NATO. They said, well, that's fine, we'll leave everybody alone. But Ukraine,
they want a buffer state because they don't want. So this goes back to the Cuban Missile Crisis. So the whole reason the Cuban Missile Crisis was resolved was because the United States also agreed to remove its warheads that it had stationed in Turkey, I believe, that were close to Russia, which is the whole reason why they sent the warheads to Cuba in the first place. So there was a compromise made. It's pretty clear Russia wants a buffer zone between NATO in the West and the Russian Federation. Ukraine was part of that buffer zone until, I mean, I'll be frank, the West started getting involved in Ukrainian politics.
Nice to meet you, Frank.
Who's Frank?
Just go ahead.
Lost.
You said I'll be Frank.
Oh, I'll be Frank. Anyway.
Anywho.
And the irony is that Zelensky seems to be a politician that has run on a promise of anti-corruption and apparently has made pretty decent strides in Ukraine, but
shit don't seem right there. I'm not gonna say
oh no,
he's
no,
not
no,
a bad
it's,
guy.
it's not.
I'm not gonna say he's a bad guy. I'm sorry.
No, Zelensky seems to be on the level because he ran on an anti-corruption.
Zelensky, the auto parts king. Tommy boy.
But now, from what I understand, a lot of the Ukrainian diplomats are refusing to negotiate or be part of negotiations other than complete and total withdrawal, which I understand, believe me. It would be like if Canada invaded the U.S. It would be like, hey, fuck you, eh? We're not stopping until we get Montreal. Well, and let's be real. I think
they'd probably shoot someone in the leg, like, oh my God, are you okay?
They'd be like, fuck, buddy.
Fuck, buddy, I shot you in the leg, man. I turned him into Hispanic. Hey!
Shot you in the leg, man. You going the wrong way, Holmes.
This ain't your neighborhood, Holmes. Hey. I'm just a love machine.
Hey, what do you call a Mexican Canadian?
Hombre.
No, ese?
Fucking bitch.
That's racist on multiple levels. It's not racist.
That's when you just laugh out. Face.
No, they cut us off. No.
Oh, stereo. Yeah, and then it just ends the podcast.
No, but I'm pretty sure that if we went to war with Canada, Quebec would secede and join the Union. That'd be the final straw for them.
What? The Federation?
No, the Planetary Union.
Oh, it'd be called a country?
Yeah.
Quebec the country. Because you couldn't just call it Quebec. Wait, what
The
do you mean?
Independent
Quebec
Republic.
County? No.
The Independent Republic of Quebec.
Isn't Quebec, aren't they like 90% French?
Majority French speaking, yes.
Okay. I thought it was there.
Which French in...
What's the closest one to us over Michigan? Ontario?
Oh, God. I think so. Yeah, that would make sense because Toronto is kind of... I think it's Ontario.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
We're just grasping at straws here.
Yeah, I don't have a map. Sorry.
And I don't want to look it up.
Yeah, I don't want to. So basically what we're saying is we really need... I predict that the... like I said, we'll go more in depth. What you watching?
You're pissing off Terminator.
Oh, no, it's in a machine. It's going to kick it out and hit me in the face.
T-3000. Pissed. Anyway.
We'll touch more on this in the election preview episode, but I think that the Republicans are going to take the House.
Yeah.
I think that's a given.
Senate.
I don't think they're going to take the Senate. I think they'll gain ground in the Senate.
Nope. I can tell you right now.
I don't want them to take the Senate.
I do. At this moment, if they get us back to see, the thing is, economies for the past present tense. Oh my gosh, the economies in the past, they were essentially better under Republican care. All right. You tell me when we had a Democrat in office and we had an excellent economy besides Bill Clinton.
Oh, damn.
Because there was something about him, I don't think he truly was.
Oh, he wasn't. He wasn't a Democrat.
No. He
was. Not fiscally.
I mean, he's not a Democrat.
Hang on, I can do this.
Period. I'm just fucking talking. I can't stop talking.
A Democrat with a good economic period. That could be blamed on the Democrats.
Because you can't say Obama, because I remember I had $4 gallon gas then in 2008.
This is true. You can't say
For a
Carter.
while.
You definitely can't say Jimmy Carter.
Or technically, what was that? FDR? He was Democrat, wasn't he?
Well, he was Democrat, but it's actually debatable as to whether or not he actually helped the Depression or made it worse. Some estimates say that he
spent money to try to.
Well, it was the Second World War that ultimately got us out of the Depression because of the ramping up of production. That's ultimately what did it. And the fact that the United States exited the war without all of its basically all of its infrastructure destroyed, so they were poised to, And at the time, China was nowhere even near having the capability of the manufacturing, not even close to the United States. So the United States was the only world power that had any manufacturing infrastructure left, because everything else had been destroyed in Europa. Thanks, Hitler. No, you know what? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I know.
I don't know about the administration. So presidents, yes, but I don't know where Congress was sitting.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, they have to come to a conclusion on stuff. So if they want anything done, everybody has
Actually,
to
you know what?
together.
I would be okay with this happening if in the midterms the Republicans took all of Congress. I'd be okay with that.
Just to get the economy straight, and then get shit like
And
that.
then because here's what would probably happen. Let's say the Republicans took the House and the Senate. You still got 2 more years of Biden, but literally Congress's mission would be to stop Biden from doing anything.
The only thing that would help them is if Biden does something to get impeached, which he already has, technically. So, I mean, there are several things he could be impeached for. He could still be impeached for the lawyer, or no, the prosecutor that he asked for them to fire. And
who was the? I can't remember. I think it was a representative. It might have been a senator.
Who
was the guy who was at the hearing with the FBI deputy director? I think, and he asked him if they knew where Hunter Biden's laptop was, and the guy was like, "We don't."
They lost it.
No, he had it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, the representative did.
And he said he didn't know? He lied under oath?
No, I don't think he lied under oath. I think he fessed up that the FBI didn't know where it was.
Oh.
And then the senator said, I'm trying to remember what he said, but I think it was something to the effect of, like, I'd like to move Hunter Biden's laptop into evidence.
Oh, and then they won't give it up.
No, he had it, apparently. That's the impression I got.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I think the representative had it in his possession. So I'll tell you right now, if the Republicans do take both houses of Congress, that's coming up like that. So Biden is hoping and praying.
Well, I'm sorry, but isn't Hunter Biden is actually in some trouble right now?
Oh, yes.
He's fighting some law battles. And
yes, but you're not hearing about that
criminals.
on the news.
No, you don't hear nothing about it.
You're just hearing about Trump getting sued in New York State as though that's something new.
Yeah, and at the same time, a judge has to say, yeah, you can sue him. So it's like you have to have a very good case.
Which speaking of Trump, isn't it funny how all these documents were super duper important, yet there have been no indictments, there have been no additional warrants that I'm aware of.
If he had something that was damning and they knew it, he would have already been.
That's what I'm saying.
In jail.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like I'm not gonna say the guy's 100% legit.
No, I think
he's crook as fuck. But at the same time, who would I rather have?
I'm not even gonna say crooked. I just I think he broke the rules, but I think it was a stupid oversight with him probably trying to throw his weight around, saying you can't tell me what to do, and it's like, well, they can, but
yeah, it's like checks and balances, bro.
Yeah, which that was my only real beef with Trump is sometimes he tried to throw his weight around, but I was like, the whole time Trump was president, I was looking at everybody was Democrat. I'm like, why are you mad? You've literally seen the system works because he's trying to do things, and they're like, no, you can't do that. What is the problem?
A lot of the stuff that he was trying to do, like they should have been should have been on board with, because like the stuff that he wanted to do wasn't like super stupid little trivial things. It was to help. Well, I'm gonna say like for the surface of it, it was to help people. I don't know if there was some, you always expect someone to have a hidden agenda.
But
at the same time, it seemed like, like with what he was doing with oil production and getting rid of...
I'm not talking about that.
Well, I'm saying as a whole, like all the stuff that he was doing. It's like, why can't you guys just understand when somebody's doing a good job?
Yeah.
And then when somebody's doing a bad job.
But then paradoxically, Trump also showed restraint that I completely
went all over the fucking world with that one. Stoner Bro says, don't forget the vote, November 8th.
Yes, sir. But
it's only a little
Trump
everyone's Republican in my county.
Yeah, but Trump also paradoxically showed restraint as president a couple of times. Like, again, during the start of the pandemic, he could have, I forget the name of the law, but he could have incited it and basically forced factories to produce those ventilators. But instead, he chose to go talk to them first and have a meeting. And I'm sure in the meeting he was like, look, I can make you do this, but I don't want to do that.
And what happened? They did it.
They did it.
Amazing.
And Democrats were tearing him up about it. It's like, well, he has presidential power to do it. It's like, he shouldn't have presidential power to do it. That goes back to fucking FDR.
Yep. There's a reason for checks and balances. It's not that difficult.
Oh, I fully admit the president of the United States has way too much power.
Yeah,
way
and
too much power.
We have too many taxes because we spend too much. It's
Yeah.
not because we don't collect enough. Remember that, people. Because
Well, and I do think there should be some tax loopholes closed, but as of right
yes,
now,
but
nobody's breaking the law.
It's like, listen, you know, the government, they expect you to send in all of your information to get your tax money back at the end of the year. Why isn't every single American able to access every single financial litigation in the IRS? Like, whatever we want to see, it should be allowed, unless it's another private citizen. You know, does that make sense?
Are you talking about for like elected officials?
No,
'Cause we
I don't
can't.
even know what I was talking about.
I'm not sure either.
It seemed a lot deeper than what I remember.
Listen, aliens.
I've got like a 5-second attention span right now because that shit kicked in way too fast, and I just feel good.
Feeling good.
You still here, Steven?
Yeah, but I suspect. So I would be okay with Republicans taking Congress, and then in 2024, because let's be real, if Republicans take both houses of Congress, they'll do something to piss off the super duper lefties. Maybe enough for the Democrats to
And
regain
see, as long as it
majority in the
doesn't
Senate.
cost me a ton of money and puts more money back in my pocket, do it.
Well, I'm gonna paraphrase Jordan Peterson here. I'm not, and conservatives shouldn't be overly dismissive of liberals because they serve a very important function in society because they point out.
They're yin to yang.
Well, yeah, they point out the people that are legitimately
They
disenfranchised.
used to.
Well, no, they still do, but now, honestly, life got so good that now disenfranchised just means life is not perfect. And I'm sorry, but like to the point that I'm not gonna say names or call anybody out, but I see this daily. There's a reason you can't afford shit. It's because you don't want to work. It's because you think that certain types of labor are beneath you, when in reality, people working those jobs are above you because they're at least willing to get their hands dirty.
And that's not only it. Living above your means when you don't have it.
Well, because
you can work towards more.
Because you think you inherently deserve something.
Yeah.
You don't inherently deserve shit.
You don't deserve anything unless you put in some work for it. You earn it.
That's what I'm saying. And
That's
like
it.
life is good, or life can be good in America. You just like the bar is not that high, people.
Listen,
It's not.
I'm with you on that, but I tell you what, in the next 100 years though, we're gonna have so many people on the planet and so many automated jobs.
Sure.
There's gonna be universal basic income and universal housing and shit like that. It's gonna.
What's
move that
gonna
way.
have to
I guarantee
happen?
it. We'll be long dead.
What's going to have to happen for that to be a reality, though, is that the means of production of certain things like food and housing are going to have to be so cheap and easy that it's no longer worth money. So kind of like how
That works the same as not volatility, but utility with crypto coins.
Well, so here's a good example. This is where we've kind of already started to do this. Most cities, at least the ones that I've been to, have some form of public water in the form of fountains or bottle filling stations or something like that you just don't pay for, because in the United States, for the most part, well, not in LA, in most of the United States where people have brains and they figured out ways to do this, most places water is cheap and or free, depending on where you get it. Like here, there are public drinking fountains almost everywhere you go.
Fuck yeah, you ride that scooter. I'm glad you're getting better though. He says all these gimme motherfuckers out there work for it. I work almost 40 hours a week in a knee scooter. What's their excuse? It's like, damn right.
You know what?
What's my excuse? I need to work.
That's a good point, though, because one of the
I'm going to.
one of the drawbacks of owning a business is that at a certain point you'll have to have employees, and most adults in the U.S. are just babies.
Yeah, I don't understand this whole work. I don't want to work atmosphere. I understand it. Like, I do understand it. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, you have to have a job. Like, I was fine for a while, but now I have to go back to work because...
Which, by the way, we'll talk after. But, you know, and I understand it might not be your ideal job, but there used to be this thing, and I think it still exists. I just think it's not talked about anymore. There used to be simple pride in doing something well, even if it wasn't what you were crazy about doing. Yeah, like there used to be pride in just doing a good job at something. I just don't see it. Like I've even seen some people that don't even take pride in. I'm not talking about you, obviously, but there are people that don't even take pride in their own home. Like, they don't clean it, they don't take care of it. They just let it fall in disrepair and then wonder why their house falling apart. It's like, well, if you leave food out all the time, you're gonna get roaches and rats and shit. Like, it's just gonna happen. You gotta. There's no pride in anything. Or people with filthy ass cars. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not psycho and like wash my car every other day, but like, it's in good working order and looks decently presentable, and it's relatively clean. Like, it's not hard. And
Nope.
goddamn it, when I worked at McDonald's, I was the goddamn best fryer ever. It was an easy job.
I worked at Wendy's for 2 days. I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, but you worked at Wendy's. That's like the hood of burger joints.
Well, the thing is, though, like, you remember the Wendy's, right?
Yes, I know exactly.
How small the kitchen was and how
Yeah.
large I am.
This is true.
I was not as fat as I am now then. I was, like, skinny, but
You've always been broad.
I'm still a very large man, and...
Yes, this is why I always thought I was tiny when I was younger.
No, dude, remember? No. We were all the same size until like 9th, 10th grade.
That's what I'm talking
I just
about.
started getting, okay, I get what you're saying now. Because like we all shot up and you're just,
But I had this weird idea that I was small, and then it didn't hit me until I was literally in my 30s, and I'm in my Krav Maga gym, and I'm looking to my left and right, and like, damn, these motherfuckers are short. And then I clicked. I'm like, oh no, it's because I hung out with a bunch of fucking giants, bunch of corn-fed, milk-drinking giants.
Yeah, I'll say I'm 6'2".
What would you say the average height at our high school on any given day was? Probably about 6 feet, right? Yeah, maybe
males.
Yeah, probably
easily.
about 6 feet.
Yeah, because the thing is, it was something in the water there.
It's all corn-fed, milk-drinking, fucking.
I grew extra inches after 18, which is
No, it
fairly-
happens. I did too.
It's not uncommon, but it's still pretty rare. Like after 18, or was it after 19? Between 19 and 20.
What we're saying is that we matured slowly.
Very. I feel like if I wouldn't have gotten hurt,
I was a
growing.
I was a liberal, and then I grew 2 more inches, and I was like, "Fuck that shit." I decided to stop being a male feminist. I was never a male feminist.
No, don't listen to him. No, I'm just kidding.
I totally was. Just that one time.
For pay.
When I had pink hair.
Oh, man. Well, what else do we got? Like I said, we could sit there and talk about them fucking America up.
Listen, no matter what your political affiliations, but especially if you're voting the right way, go vote.
That's it. You want your voice to be heard, you go and vote for the son of a bitch you want in the office. Well, there's several offices, but you know what I'm talking about.
And in the
$20 is $20. I said it earlier.
And in the immortal words of JFK, we choose to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
No, that's not the way you say it.
No, that is.
I choose to have sex with this woman not because she is easy, but because I am hard.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman in the back of the car.
The one with the blonde hair.
Okay, I did.
And the short dress.
She sang happy birthday to me.
Oh, she's so fine.
And I got hard.
I got hard. Don't you fucking dare. You kind of say, well, actually, him and Leonardo DiCaprio sound kind of similar when he was playing Jordan Belfort. Hey man, you want a non-alcoholic beer?
What the fuck is this? Like, is it you got
Did
like
you,
if
you drink
like
a
if
bunch and you get fucked up?
No, it's got no alcohol.
I mean, do you want to go in there and blow some lines of baking powder?
No, I can't. I'm sober. What the fuck are you talking about?
Such a good movie.
Oh, it's such a
did
good
you know?
movie.
Did you know that Jonah Hill did not get paid but $60,000 for that movie?
Yep, he took the union
absolute
minimum.
So he could work with Scorsese, and I was like, you know what? Respect.
You know what? Scorsese's probably a fucking liberal.
But yeah, probably because
Funny how that whole labor exploitation
conservative would
only.
be like, hey, you know what? Listen, we made $50 billion on this movie.
That's what I'm
Here's $1
saying,
million.
dude. That's what's fucked up.
They pay a lot of people when they make movies.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. So, literally, I'm willing to bet money that Scorsese is a liberal because I've always seen this happen with lefties. It's like they're all about like workers' rights and shit until it's their because like what Cenk Uyghur, whatever his name is, Young Turks.
Yeah.
He got controversy because he was like he's always like pro-union this and that, and then the workers of the Young Turks tried to unionize, and he was like, no, you can't. You're gonna put us out of business. Funny that.
Weird. And he's probably saying it's because they're small, and it's like, you know what?
That's exactly what he said because this is the
small
debate.
Or large?
This is the debate he had with Ben Shapiro. Because Ben Shapiro brought that up, and he was like, your guys tried to unionize, and you told him you couldn't do it. He's like, listen, they would have put us out of business.
So much?
It's like, again, the mantra of the Democratic Party today is rules for thee, not for me. That's it.
Absolutely. COVID showed that.
Oh, yeah.
Getting haircuts and
let's see.
Doing this and that.
Let's see. COVID-19, insider trading, which I'm sure some Republicans do it too, but the Democrats are...
I mean, Nancy Pelosi's fucking obvious.
Alone, yeah. Well, in AOC, I'm coming for you. I guarantee you, even if she's still in Congress or in politics, she's not going to be out of politics. She's going to get book deals. She's going to be a fucking millionaire if she's not already. It's going to happen.
Because people are stupid and they'll pay for it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Let's see. COVID, that. The Hunter Biden scandal.
I was so scared when they came in the building and I wasn't there.
She wasn't? I thought she was there.
She wasn't. She wasn't even in the same building.
Oh, yeah. She wasn't in the same building.
She was there, but she wasn't even in the same building. And She was like, I heard them outside. It's like, no, you didn't.
Well, you know what?
Where's AOC?
I am going to be real. I think that shit legitimately would have been fucking scary because you don't know exactly what's going on.
But at the same time, I would expect people to have sense. But then when a guy comes in dressed like that and he's like, "Arr," or whatever he said.
He's like, damn, he took some PCP.
What's his favorite letter of the alphabet? What is it? Can you say it?
What, a pirate?
Yeah, what's his favorite letter of the alphabet?
I'm going to go with T for treasure.
You're not going to say R?
No, that's obvious.
No, you go, the C!
There's a similar joke I know. It's like, what would be a pirate's favorite restaurant?
The Krusty Krab!
No, they're supposed to say Arby's when you say, you might think that. 'Tis actually Long John Silver's.
Oh, fuck yeah. I would have thought Long John Silver's first, actually.
I had Long John
Silver's.
I had Long John Silver's for the first time in probably 15 years.
Was it nasty?
No, it was fucking great.
Did you eat the Hush Puppies?
Fuck yeah, I did.
So good.
Oh my god.
Their fries?
Oh,
I'm not even a fan of fries.
All
and they have
good, man.
Their chicken planks, or did you eat fish?
I got both because I'm a fat fuck.
The fish, I don't like.
I love
chicken
their
planks,
fish.
Fucking phenomenal.
I love their fish. Their fish is solid, but their chicken's phenomenal as well. And I discovered there's one like down the street from my house, and I'm like, oh,
you son of a bitch!
I didn't know.
Oh shit, I'm coming.
I'm like, oh, I'm
Was the
screwed.
chicken flat, or was it like the way it's supposed to be, like a tender?
like a tender?
Okay, yeah, we got some on the way down to Florida, and they were planks. They were flat, skinny. They tasted weird. I mean, you still tasted the breading, but there was like too much breading, not enough chicken. It was
they made you a nugget basically.
It was good, but it wasn't like normal good. Anyway.
No, what else? I do like I typically don't get worried, but I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm worried, but I'm more concerned than I thought I would be with everything going on. Because
what like nuclear stance and whatnot?
Not just that, but economically, because I'm looking at it's not like it's 2024 and we only have another month of this shit. We've got 2 more years.
They could fuck it up royally.
Oh, they already have, but it could get worse.
No, that's what I'm talking about. They could fuck it up even worse.
I mean, this could get bad.
And it's like, listen, we already have shortages on certain food places. Now, obviously not where I live because, I'm fat. But
the shortages for the most part are fairly, but like they're inconveniences now, but it could get
worse.
Like, what are you going to do if we don't, what are you going to do if the United States runs out of beef, for example? We're not going to run out of beef, but it could get more scarce.
I'll tell you what, right now, there are a lot of companies, such as, I believe, was it Target? They stopped shipping items to certain blue cities because of theft and destruction, you know? And it's like, I'm going to tell you right now, if it comes down to all this shit and you are in a blue city, you guys are probably going to starve. Because the truckers are not going to want to come to you.
Well, anybody with any sense will. Well, and that's the problem. So here's
that's why people are leaving California.
Well, but here's the cruel irony of all of this is
Florida.
This will all ironically, disproportionately, at least initially, disproportionately affect people of color in low-income neighborhoods.
Weird.
Who can't drive out of like they're going to create food deserts.
And what did Joe Biden say?
So I should, just in case people watching don't know, a food desert is a term where basically if people don't have a car or means of transportation away from their home, dependently, they don't have places where they can buy basic essentials like food other than exploitive places like Dollar General, for example, which are allegedly cheap but actually are more expensive than even your big chain grocery stores. And they put them in low-income places for a reason because these people can't drive away, so they have to go with whatever's within walking distance, and usually that's a Dollar General or a Family Dollar or places that exploit,
or even a gas station,
or even which is the worst.
Yeah, when you're trying to buy, like, say you just got a headache and you want to get some headache medicine, it's like $3,
dude.
I'm not 2 or 3 pills.
I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I'm kind of in a food desert now. I have a car, so it doesn't affect me as much. But like, what did I have to get? I forgot to buy toilet paper when I was at the store.
You are a decent ways away from stuff.
Yeah, if I didn't have a car, I'd be completely screwed. Now, here's the thing. That day, I was just lazy. So I didn't want to, because there is a Walmart relatively close to me, but it's a bit of a drive. So there's a gas station down the street. So I just drove to the gas station and bought a single roll of toilet paper for like, what? Is there something behind me?
No.
You were like looking at
what was it, like $2 for the roll?
I think with tax, it was close to $3.
Oh my gosh, for one roll.
But imagine if somebody can't drive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what now there is.
I went to Target to get one roll of paper towels, and it was like $4.
Oh, you're buying the fancy shit.
Well, it was very absorbent. It was Bounty.
Oh, the quilted,
quicker picker up.
Quicker Bounty. No, but I'm imagining, like, what if I'm somebody who doesn't have a car? Now there is like a Latina tienda across I haven't been in there, so I don't know what their pricing's like. So it's essentially a small grocery store, but I don't know how deep their selection is. And I don't know if they have things like toilet paper and toothpaste and stuff like that. So what, like, if you don't have that, if you don't have a car, you're dependent on gas stations for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who don't drive.
Who can't? They don't have cars. Like, for example, my tenant doesn't have a car.
Or say they have a car, but, you know, gas prices are so expensive, they can't even afford to put gas in to drive it somewhere, maybe except work. They have to stretch all their gas for work.
And that, like, as much as the Biden administration likes to say it's not their fault, it is their fault. Or at least it's a shared blame, because, yeah, gas prices fluctuate.
I mean, when you immediately come in and put, what was it that Trump was doing? He was cutting regulation on oil production and whatnot, so they were able to
and allowing new leases and granting licenses for
and then they swear up and down they're doing the same things for them, but yet why are we struggling for gas right now when we have more oil here than? Well, and I want to say we have more than. I think we have the biggest oil reserves under us.
Probably.
So the thing is, why are we struggling?
Well, we're struggling because they're not letting them be. Like, take that
That's
whole.
That's why
Take that where they wanted to start drilling in Alaska. This is it's a big area of land, but in relation to all of Alaska, it's tiny.
Yeah. And, like, they get that done and start supplying the United States with more oil into the supply, that lowers prices.
Well, and then here's one that'll piss people off. The best thing for natural forest...
It's coming from us, so we don't pay for it.
Well, all right. Well, but this is going to piss all the lefties off, but it's true. The best thing for wild forests in the United States was the timber industry. They started self-regulating because and it became law later, but the timber industry as a whole started self-regulating because they realized that if they didn't start planting trees, they were going to run out of trees to cut down. So they self-imposed these cut down 1, plant 2, or I think now it's up to plant 3, which is great. And there's actually more natural forestation. I forget the exact year, but there's more natural forest in the United States today than in the 1800s. That's a fact.
You want to know something crazy? Imagine if we took, say, maybe the Nevada desert or just even outside California, like the desert, and we figured out a way to plant billions of trees and get that area like essentially terraformed, and whatnot. There would be more life there, and people would probably want to move there.
Well, here's the problem with that though, because the desert is an essential. Like then you would fuck up the desert biome and all that. You don't want to get rid of the desert. The desert actually serves a purpose.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. You also don't live out there.
I like warm weather though. So.
Listen, let's just let California secede. Let them do it.
Dude, you know what sucks about California? It's such a nice place with all kinds of like stuff to visit, and North California is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so are the beaches down in South California. I can't talk, but it's just like why would you guys let your state just be ruined? Not the older people, because the older people are dying out.
Parts of Southern California benefited immensely from stealing water from the Colorado River in a very shady set of, which ironically was also done by Democrats.
Bitches needed water.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but it was essentially done by the left to fun.
The funny thing is about this entire country as a whole, as a joke, would be what percentage rate did we get mad about coming from Britain at the time for the Boston Tea Party? What was it, like 2%, 3%?
Oh, the tax rate?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it might have been 3.
And we're not mad about taxes today?
Because we've been inundated. We're used to it.
I'm not. I will never be. I always count that shit up, and I'm like, fucking bitches, dude. And I can't even say no to it. I can't opt out. That's the problem of taxes. You can't opt out.
Well,
if you could opt out completely.
Well, a tax that you opt out of is a donation. I mean,
no,
kind of the point of a tax is that you can't opt out of it.
Anything, like as in, like you're not a part of that anymore. Like, why is it the government's responsibility? Like they should just tax us as a whole, and then this makes so much sense in my head.
Say you're losing me here.
All right.
Listen.
So tax as a whole, instead of it coming out automatically, it needs to be paid. And
like a bill.
Yeah, and they are because my wife owns a business. I know how it works, and you own a business, so you know how it works. Like, you don't taxes don't just come out automatically. You literally have to pay them each month for sales tax.
Yep.
So but like, so my point was fucking mute as fuck. Moot, not mute. Anyway, I digress. Back to you, Ramrod. I got a piece so bad.
I think we should wrap her up, just like we need to wrap up Biden's presidency.
2 years.
Some may consider this a hot take. I don't think so. I genuinely.
You think he's going to be taken out before then? And
I don't think that. I think Biden, I'm not going to say the worst just because I'm not going to take the time to think through all the presidents and be like, who was really the worst? Because I think maybe Woodrow Wilson may have been the worst president we ever had.
A lot of people say Obama, and I was like,
I'm not. No. There's Republicans that have been worse than Obama historically throughout the entire. But Biden is in the conversation for being one of the worst presidents of the United States that we've ever had. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Woodrow Wilson was probably the worst president we ever had.
Who was the guy that was impeached? Like, was he impeached?
No.
No, one time. Not both. There's only been one president who's been impeached completely.
Johnson. I think. Pretty sure it was Johnson.
And then
aliens.
What's the guy's name?
Oh, Richard Nixon?
Yeah.
He resigned, though.
Yeah, he resigned just as he was getting ready to get a second one from the Senate, because the Senate decides.
I am not a crook, but then they found out I wasn't.
It's like, what's the point of having impeachment, but yet it's so hard to obtain? And
because
that's a good thing.
It's supposed to be beyond a reasonable doubt. and not be used as a political tool.
And it is being used as a political tool, and it's like if you guys don't see that, like you're blind. I don't care if you're Democrat, liberal.
Well, here's the thing. I would have. I
independent.
In my mind, I let the first impeachment slide because I'm like, okay, well, you're asserting that he did something impeachable, so let's see.
And then you didn't come up with anything, so you did it again.
Yeah, the second one was just an eye roll for me because it's like now you're grasping at straws.
Yeah, you're going for anything. It's like that just makes you look so bad.
Well, it makes it look political.
Yeah, it makes you look
like the Clinton impeachment. I don't think was political. I think they took political advantage of it, but I don't think it was political in essence.
And all he did was just lie about getting a blowy.
Well, it's not that he lied about getting a blowy. He lied under oath, which is perjury, which is a fucking crime.
He's lucky he didn't go to prison then, huh?
Well, an impeachment's different. He wasn't. He would have just been removed from office. But
yeah, I know. And the thing is, they can only impeach him, but they cannot indict a sitting president.
Correct.
But does that count towards past dealings?
I don't know what you mean.
Because if somebody knows something about a record, and then like, what's the limit of statute?
It depends on the crime.
4 years if it was committed.
It depends on the crime.
12. Yeah, but there's been murderers who got away with the crime for 15, 20 years.
Well, I don't think there's a statute to limitations on murder.
That's what I was saying. Different statute limitations.
Yeah, it depends on the crime.
You already said that.
Well, and now, I can't remember if this was federally. I think it was federally, as they eliminated the statute to limitations on sexual assault. Which, okay, is a good thing ultimately, but it opens up some complicated doors, shall we say. So, but hey, if Bill Clinton touched you inappropriately, the door's open now.
All right. Good time to wrap up?
I'd say so.
I think you said that like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's generally happens. Anyway, thank you for enjoying another episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe, and thank everybody for the comments. We love this kind of engagement. Keep that coming. And if you're watching this after the live broadcast, please comment on the YouTube video. Or if you prefer to listen to the podcast, you can play it on YouTube while you're driving, while you're sleeping, while you're having sex, whatever. Whatever gets you going.
Get off, I'm saying.
I beg to never because we have such sensual, velvety voices.
Did you hear the sound of that squeaking chair?
Listen.
Waves and rocks. Yeah, just repeat that.
Do it because you are hard. But you can also choose to listen to us on the audio streaming platforms, which include but are not limited to Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Now, Stitcher, Amazon, Audible for all you intellectual fucks out there.
I enjoy Audible.
I don't want to pay for it. I like to read books, not have them read to me. I'm not a child.
I had a free book, and I received Dante's Inferno because that's just too long of a fucking read.
That is a hard read.
And I love it.
That is one of those books that I think would be more pleasant of an experience having it read to you as opposed to reading it. I could agree with that.
I found that out. That's why I was like, all right, I love this.
Wow, those are some big words, and he sounds smart.
Yeah, he says them so brilliantly. Anyway.
Be sure to check out our wonderful sponsors, OMG CBD and Stevie Wicks Cool Beans Candle Company. Get all of your stuff today, and here's what you can do. You can get some edibles from OMG CBD, light a sensual bat candle. It can be like your intimate bat signal.
And then you pull out your acoustic guitar.
You
start playing Something in the Way by Nirvana.
You turn on, and then after your interlude, while the candle's still lit and the edible kicks in, you take off your pants, get very hard, and have massive sex while listening to the dry, steamy sound that is the average.
In the way. The Average Intelligence Podcast.
That's it.
We ain't got nothing else. All right, people. Oh!
If you are still hard, you have my respect.